Social media causing your life to be off balance? This outlet has been a major part in communicating and staying informed with what's happening around the world.
But is it causing you to be depressed? Now on your side, Jennifer Martinez spoke to a psychologist who tells us social media can be a lead factor in depression.
In a world of smartphones and millions of people getting immediate and constant information on a daily basis, it's hard for some, or maybe the majority of us, to put our phones down.
That's my life right now. Every time I lose my phone, I freak out. If I don't have it for like 15 minutes, then I freak out.
But what is it about social media that keeps people with their heads down, zoned out into their phone, escaping the reality of what is actually happening around them and missing out on their own little moments?
Because I don't want to miss out on what's going on social media, because you never know how quick something can happen, and you always want to see what's going on, see everybody's news feed and see what's interesting and what's new.
I wake up and I look at my phone. Obviously, I go to my Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, all of those stuff. And then when I'm coming to school, I'm also checking my stuff or talking with my friends or my family. And then almost like the entire day I'm in it.
I actually have been trying to limit myself from social media because I do believe that it's affecting my life negatively more than the positive aspect of it.
And like many of you, I have social media. As you can see, I have Twitter, I have Facebook, and of course, I have Instagram. On a daily basis, I post my life and I share with you all local and national news, constantly checking my phone for updates and, of course, sharing my travels and family. So when is enough enough, and when would you know if you're addicted to social media, and is that actually a thing? We reached out to Peggy Holt at Sabino Recovery, and while Holt says social media is great in many ways, it has taken us away from the intimacy of eye contact and face-to-face dialogue. Like any other addiction, the issues come when there are negative consequences.
If it's affecting your social life, if it's affecting your health or your relationships, or you're not developing relationships because you're using, the offline or the online version of relationships versus, the offline. So for some people, if they're already isolating, it can contribute to depression and anxiety.
Holt says oftentimes what happens is people become reliant on how many likes or views they get, which in turn can be a factor of why so many people find social media depressing.
It's a validating of self and of their worthiness, which is kind of, you're relying on an outside source for kind of internal happiness or internal validation.
But how can something that is meant to be good turn out to be bad for people looking in? According to Holt, people get upset when others post about celebratory events, such as engagements, graduations, traveling, etc. May in fact not be happy with their own life outside of the online world.
If you're pretty healthy and somebody's posting an engagement or somebody's posting a celebration of their trip, it's not going to bother you. You're going to celebrate like you don't have to compare yourself to somebody else. But if somebody doesn't feel confident enough and they don't feel like they're good enough or whatever, then when you post those things, they might think, oh, they're just flaunting it. And they may be jealous.
Holt says the best way to avoid feeling social media depression per se is to cut down how much you use it and post without wanting validation, but wanting to share your life with others, such as your family and friends. And remember, when you're with others in a setting like dinner or just hanging out with friends, put those phones down and have eye-to-eye contact. Jennifer Martinez, KGUN 9 on your side.